Today we're going to take a close look at some of the items that we sell and talk about why they are worth what they are. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to look at some of the items that I routinely sell, and we're going to talk about why they sell, what's important about them, and what's going to get you money out of these sorts of items. So with a lot of our items, there's key features, key things that are important to them and why we got so much money out of them. And this is Radio City here. This is the RCA building. It's a felt pennant that you would have bought when you went there as a tourist item. They're key features. It's early. Knowing the difference with something like this between a newer one and an old one is huge. So this one did sell for $58.90. If you look up, you will find some of these that only went for 15 or 20 bucks. They're newer. The graphics are different. The technique of production is different. Disney prints. Now, I sell quite a bit of Disney stuff. We buy them sometimes in bulk. I had a whole bunch of different images like this that we paid like a quarter or 50 cents a piece for. I sold 2 of these for 15 bucks plus for each one of them. This last one just sold. There's nothing to this. It's a bigger item like a placemat or something. We send them out just like we send out sheet music with these. Now, most of these are worth at least something if it's like an original Disney print. So as long as they're original, they're cute, there's some aspect of it, I can almost always sell this type of thing on several different platforms. You have to watch out a little bit on Amazon. A lot of these wordings you could not use in the title. You would get dinged for copyright issues. Now here's a Christmas card. Most people may not think a bunch about this one, but it's talking about a specific hotel. So the hotel itself and a room in that hotel is why this sold. So had it not been for that, I wouldn't even have messed with this at all. So I've got a quarter or maybe less than that into this item. I knew that that hotel was something that's collectible. The hotel is why this one sold here. Now here's another interesting item. Unfortunately, it is only partially there. This would be a poster. It's a big size for something like this. It's missing a few inches off the top. It's missing some off the bottom. And someone may have trimmed a border on top of that off of it. Now we got just a hair over 60 bucks plus shipping on this one here. It's been up for a while, but it's a good item. It's tied to cigars. It's black and gold cigars. It's a 5-center sign, so that's key features for something like this. So you've got to have some of that tied in with the item you're going to sell if it's something like this. If this was all there, this would have probably went for $400 or $500 in excellent condition. Obviously, it's not. This is something other people passed on for a long time. I found it at a sale. It had been going on for a month and a half. So it's something that everybody passed on because of the damage. I don't care always about the damage if the item itself, the underlying aspect of it, is important. And this one was a good, important piece. You're not going to find something like this. You could send this off and have it professionally repaired. They would fill in the missing parts of it as well. Now, tobacco silks I do love. I've got hundreds of them in here now. I got to go through still and get some more up. We bought a huge lot of these. Knowing something about these, even if you see other ones selling for cheap, I still run these high because at some point in the year, there's no other ones up but the ones that I have. We spent, I think, 850 bucks on a decent lot of sports ones, all the sports series here from the colleges, and we've been selling them for, geez, probably 2.5 years straight, a couple every single month since that point. We've made a ton of money off of stuff like this. This sort of thing they sell if you keep them up and let them run. Because, again, at some point there won't be any competition, and that's when we usually sell several at a time, and we make good money on these. Every one we sell now is all profit anyway, and has been for well over 1.5 years. We made most of our money back on this sort of item, this exact purchase, like in the first week we listed listed the items. The good ones sold, got us all of our money back, and made us a profit right then, right there, as soon as we listed some of them. Now, records we sell all of the time, especially this time of year. Right now, record sales are up through the roof for us, across the board, all over the place. Even some of the odder ones. This is a Polka World. It's on a Continental label. It did sell for $46.50. It was an offer I sent out to a watcher. Boom, there it goes. Plus, they paid for shipping. Now, this is an excellent one. This is an area most people do not mess with, or they don't know enough about them to even take an attempt on something like this. Now, I know this area. My grandmother was actually born in Poland. Used to listen to this sort of music around the house. There's Polish festivals around here that I've been to. Family members have worked there and things like that. So this is an area I know. So knowing the right ones of something like this, you can do extremely well. Because even on the specialty pricing sites, which I've talked about many times before, this sort of item won't be listed on there even sometimes. So I'm happy with these sorts of sales. These are like a quarter or less pickup because most every dealer out there, every reseller passes up the oddball polka or foreign ones, and I mess with the foreign ones constantly. Now, many people are unaware that baseball cards started out in the 1870s, the very early 1870s, as advertising cards. That's where they all led up to where they are right now. This is an early one for foul ball. Now, there's a series of these. These are Pioneer Age cards. This one's been up for a little while. It has some damage. If this was a perfect mint card, it would be worth around $125. As it is, I took $45, I do believe, on this one plus shipping. The person also bought another card about the same price, so I'm fine with that. But this one is still worth it because it's a Pioneer era baseball card. You got to have the baseball aspect in there for this to sell. If you miss that aspect or don't realize what's going on with something like this, you will lose out on money. I'm not a huge sports fan. I did play baseball, so I do at least always look for these sorts of things. The value is there because of the baseball aspect of this. Records, again, this is another one. I think this was an offer to a watcher. It did sell for $35.65. Most every 78 that I have, I paid $1 or less for. Sometimes I get them as cheap as a quarter, even 5 and 10 cents a piece if I buy them in massive bulk. I usually mess with records most people think aren't valuable. This is a demonstration, a promo. This would have been given out to like record stores to play. Now, sometimes you could buy these, but there were never very many of these issued, so hence it does carry an extra value. Soul records. Always sell a ton of Soul. This one's from Detroit. It's a Spotlight label. I sold it for $27.50. It's been up for a little while. I'm fine with the price I got on it. Condition's pretty decent as well. Now, I get asked all the time, do I listen to my records? Do I play them to know the condition? I don't play them to know the condition. I can tell it by looking at the disc. If it's a high-value disc, I do play it. Now, most of these, if I haven't heard them before, I listen to them anyway for my own personal benefit. I like to hear what a lot of this sounds like. Now, photos I sell all the time. A key to them is military. If it's an official military photo, or if it's a movie-related, TV-related, if it's an official one made by a TV company, movie production company, a publicity studio company, or anything like that, those are the ones you really want. You don't just want some random photo, for the most part, that are 8x10. You want something that's professionally produced. Most of those go fairly well for us. Now, this one I sold for $15 plus shipping on it. I have nothing into this, literally. We've been selling, oh my gosh, so many of these. We've probably made $6,000 or $7,000 off of the last purchase of photos. We bought 500 or 600 8x10 militaries. So at this point, we're just getting rid of some of the stock that's been in there for a while. I don't mind selling them. I put some on sale. And we always sell at least 6 or 8 of these every single week, the military ones. Some weeks I sell 20 or 30. Other weeks I may sell even more than that. When we first listed them, we had people buying like 50 and 60 of them, big massive quantities at full cost. So $57.50 some of them sold for. Many others sold for $34.50. We got our money back immediately. Another record here, sell a ton of them. A lot of people think that the brown shellac, and that's what the 78s are. These 78s are not made out of vinyl. They are shellac. think that it's more valuable. Now, the label itself, it's a generic label. I think they just did the color scheme, the brown shellac, to just kind of set themselves apart. Most of these types, these brown ones, aren't worth a fortune, unless it's like Vocalion or something like that. Maybe there's a few in that range, but did sell for $27.90. Fine with the price on it as well. Now, calendars I mess with all the time. Here's a nice, interesting early calendar. As you can see the date on it, nice example here. I think we took 40 on this one plus shipping. It's an easel style. It does have a hole to hold it on the wall, so someone probably actually used this as a calendar at one time. This is a giveaway. The calendar aspect, though, and the dating is why this one sold for what it did. Now, dog tags do extremely well. I don't care what type they are. If it's from World War II or before, we always get good money. I don't care if it has to sit for a little while. Now, this is from a naval reserve. These aren't as popular as, say, the U.S. Army itself or something along that line. You want something that's at least official for reserve or higher, and that's why this one sold here. Usually do not list the name if it's something like this in the title, but having the chain and the hook and everything else that goes with it will help sell this. I had 2 of these. This is the second one. They both have sold. I picked them up for $1 a piece in a bin of just junk stuff. Raymond Burr photo, as I said, we do sell quite a few. This one's been up for a little while. I marked it down on sale, and it did sell for $21.39. Now, this is an official one. As I said, it has the paperwork with it. Those are the best ones that I find because they were actually original production material from this time frame. A lot of the ones you see out there now are newer ones that are mass reproduced copies of the original ones. The original ones are the ones that will sell for more money regardless. This is another one of those items that I have nothing into. I've been selling these for a few years, several a week here, all the time, year after year after year. No sense in taking these down. They will sell at some point. Key factor is CBS. It's a promo. It's an actual promo photo and not some mass-produced one. Lighters as well, I do sell a lot of. Brand name essential to this one here. It's gold tone and it has real leather. If you missed the real leather, that is a key to this. Now this goes back. This is from the 40s or 50s. This is like when smoking jackets were in. This would be something someone would probably clean up and still be able to set on a table somewhere. Excellent item here. You got to get all of those key facts in there. Condition is everything in some of these, but on a lighter, if it doesn't work or it needs some cleanup, I never have a problem still selling it. This was a 50-cent purchase for me, so I'm fine with selling it for that. And the last item, another luggage label. I think I took 15 with shipping included on this. It's cheap to ship, so no big deal. I've got others of this exact same one. Sometimes I can find a whole bunch of them. Key facts you need to know on something like this. You need to put the line. This is the French line. You need to put that it's SS for steamship. Degrassi, or however it's pronounced, may be a term used in some other items, so you want to be very specific. You got to add words like luggage label, poster stamp to something like this. Those usually help it sell. But again, if you miss the line, you're missing one of the most key important facts to sell something like this. Keywords, the terminology you use in your title are so important these days, more so now than any other time in history of those selling online. But that's what I have for you today. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Dragon Blaster, Skeletor, Fisto, Roboto, and He-Man figures, each sold separately.
Roboto, attack!
Your Dragon Blaster can't stop the most powerful robot in the universe. Oh, yeah? Freeze, Roboto! I said freeze!
Dragon Blaster Skeletor, new from the Masters of the Universe collection. Other action figures, each sold separately. From Mattel.